It's time for an update of the City of Maple Grove. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome again, Heidi.
Thank you.
We have a council meeting to talk about that was held on January 22nd, about a 45-minute meeting. A number of things coming up in town in late January and February, and also a meeting before the meeting to talk about something you're familiar with. So let's get right to that meeting ahead. It was a workshop. Council normally has these, and we'll talk about some that are coming up a little later. But this was about the shops. Give us a little background, because this has been before the council, and now this was another chance to kind of see some updated information, I take it.
Yeah, so earlier this fall, or in the fall of 2018, the shops at Arbor Lakes had gotten concept design approval for kind of redoing that pedestrian mall area in the center of the mall. They, since that time, have been working on kind of the next phase, more defined plans for that area, and wanted to have the opportunity to come in and kind of run that by the council, show them where they've come to on their design, and get some feedback before they formally submit for that development stage part of the approvals. So had about a half-hour, 45-minute workshop with them. They had a really nice kind of graphic fly-through of the space. I think they've really come a long ways in terms of that design and really kind of retaining a lot of those things that were viewed as amenities in that space. And very positive feedback from the council, so we anticipate they'll be submitting for that development stage approval here in the coming weeks, and that'll come back before Planning Commission and Council over the winter here.
Very good, and when it does, we will bring it back to you at that point. Number of items on the consent agenda, nothing pulled at the meeting itself, but we thought you might want to know about a couple things that are going on. One is a retirement from the fire department, a familiar face leaving. Yeah,
so Kathy Powell's our fire secretary, kind of that front face of the fire department there at the government center, retiring. She's been with the city for about 6 years, so we will certainly miss Kathy, and we wish her all the best in her retirement.
All right, good luck to Kathy. Grocery news, always good to talk about here. Talk about Hy-Vee, some further information about the north site.
Yeah, so the plans for that north site, the plans when they get approval on that for development stage type approval, it's about 2 years that lasts. So those plans were coming up and they were going to be expiring here in February. So Hy-Vee had reached out to request a 1-year extension to the approvals of that north site. Again, that's right up off of Maple Grove Parkway 610 up there. And so that was approved on the consent agenda last night to provide them 1 more year of an extension up there to those approvals.
And not on the council agenda, but while we're talking the north site, we better talk south for a second. How are things coming on the south side?
Really well. They're vertical on that Hy-Vee store construction at 101 Bass Lake Road, and haven't heard of an opening time frame yet, but they're moving right along.
I'm sure when they announce it, the word will get out to the entire city very quickly. Let's talk about the gun range for a second, also on the consent agenda, and I understand this is a step to kind of prepare for the next hopeful part of the process with the legislature. Yeah,
we needed to advance some of the design work to get more specifics about cost and what the facility is going to look like. So this is for the expansion of the North Metro range up off of 89th there. As you'll recall, we have about 20 partners, agencies that use that facility. The City of Brooklyn Park and Plymouth are our joint powers cities on that facility. So we're looking to expand it, kind of basically double that gun range and training facility. Also add in some, kind of a big focus on de-escalation and crisis intervention training, those kinds of things. So some simulation space, and then some sort of scenario building space where you could put the staff into different scenarios and kind of see how people react. So advancing this design work, this contract with Leo A. Daly will take us through that pre-design phase. We're going to be pursuing bonding or funding this session, but we really need to also be looking ahead as if if a bonding bill doesn't come together this year. Next year, 2020, is the official bonding year, and so we would submit then by June to get into that 2020 bonding cycle.
Okay, very good. I-94 was talked about many times during the meeting. We're going to lump it all into one big presentation here. So give us the latest on I-94, some meetings coming up, some council work coming up as well, and just a lot of activity around this. Give us the overview.
Yeah, there's certainly also been a lot of media coverage of this improvement that's coming to the I-94 corridor that really stretches from Maple Grove. There's one segment from Maple Grove to Rogers, and then St. Michael to Albertville, and then again Monticello to Clearwater. So a lot of work going to be happening out there on that corridor, really that 2019 to 2022 timeframe.
Sure.
So the item that was on the agenda last evening was to call for the public hearing for March 4th. This would be the opportunity for MnDOT to come in and present that final layout for the project, the environmental assessment documents, and then basically the city provides or is asked to provide municipal consent to the project. So that would be happening on March 4th. We also have the issue of the noise walls that we've talked about. There's 4 different noise walls being proposed through the Maple Grove corridor along 94. In one situation, because the city has some property ownership in that area, the city kind of controls the vote on one of the walls on the south end of Rice Lake. The other walls really will be controlled by the vote of residents and businesses in those areas. And so we anticipate that on February 4th, that issue of making that decision on that south Rice Lake noise wall will come before the council to weigh in on that issue. In the meantime, January 29th, there's a meeting that's going to be held at the Government Center from 6 to 8 p.m. This is, information again about the noise walls that are proposed, and then the environmental assessment will be shared at that meeting. So if folks are interested in what's being, what the unbonded overlay project includes and what the impacts will be in Maple Grove, good opportunity to come out and check that out on Tuesday, January 29th.
Very good. So there's one date for your calendar. How about another one in the end of February? Let's talk about the State of the City event. A little different approach to that this year, but the date to remember is February 28th. What will this event be?
So in years gone past, with North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce, the cities of Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Maple Grove, and Osseo did sort of a collective State of the Cities event. With the chamber closing its doors, I think all of the cities are kind of going their own way and hosting, different State of the City types events for their own cities. So this is us kind of striking out on our own here. We're going to have it in the morning from 7:30 to 9 at the Community Center, February 28th. The mayor will be doing a presentation, as well as we're going to have Shannon Full with the Twin West Chamber come talk about a workforce initiative we're going to be joining them on. So we're hopeful for this event, and it'll probably become an annual type thing that we will host here at the city.
All right, more information to come to get that date on your calendar. So that's it from the consent agenda from the meeting from the 22nd. Moving ahead to some of the special business and again a public hearing. This is related to Fernbrook Fields. We've covered this many times. This is another step of the process. Where are we today?
So this item was really kind of a technical item just to vacate some old drainage and utility easements because of the new plat for the area with the field construction. The buildings are starting to go vertical up there. So if you haven't been by the site recently, the light standards are up. It's coming along nicely. This is projected for probably about a July opening this summer. So we're looking forward to that. All the agreements have gotten in place and everything's moving along really nicely here. So more progress on this one.
Many athletes very, very excited. Let's continue the Fernbrook theme, moving up the road a little bit under community development. The Fernbrook View Apartments were discussed once again. Again, a little background here, what has been talked about and what was the major issue of the meeting this week.
So a lot of development along that territorial road, Fernbrook corridor east of Fernbrook. This was an area that was poised for development in our comp plan during this current time frame. So we have seen there's an apartment project that's probably getting close to complete up there. Some additional townhomes. There was some additional townhome villa units approved for further east on down territorial. Down territorial. And then also an apartment complex that was approved in concept. Not sure if that'll end up being apartments or more townhome villa. But this proposal last night was really for that hard corner there of territorial and Fernbrook. Project proposed by Steve Fisher Apartments. About 60 units here, and so a little bit smaller project, kind of more that Class C type property, a little bit lower amenity, still high quality, finish, high quality construction, but maybe a little bit more attainable to the renting community. So. And one of the areas of concern here has been traffic in the area along Fernbrook and along territorial, and traffic coming down from Dayton, because that's an area of pretty high growth as you go north up Fernbrook into Dayton. So along with this project, what we've committed to as a staff is to construct some of those interim improvements. So engineering will be working on that through the feasibility study. We have our eye on that long-term improvement, which really is the extension of Maple Grove Parkway to Fernbrook Lane. And that is a project that would be a collaborative project project with Hennepin County and the city of Dayton and the city of Maple Grove. So interim improvements will come along with this to that Fernbrook corridor, but we also want to make sure we're still pushing on that long-term improvement of that Maple Grove Parkway extension.
And again, that's the county is a big
Yes.
partner in that.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's move ahead to more about community development and look at some things that are coming up. And we should mention there was a new face giving the
Yeah.
report. Tell us about Joe. He
Yeah.
did fine in his first appearance.
He did. So today was day 5, I think, for Joe with the city. Joe Hogaboom joined us last Wednesday. Joe comes to us he had previously been with the city of Golden Valley for about 9 years, and then most recently with the city of Columbia Heights as their community development director. So Joe joined us last week. We've now kind of combined back our community and economic development functions of the city. Carrie Willie's returned to us as well, and so yeah, Joe's just digging in and kind of getting up to speed, and coming at a time when we have really a lot going on. The list of development projects that are going to be coming before Planning Commission and Council was quite lengthy that he went through last night.
Give us an idea. Tell us a few of the things we're looking forward to. So
we have a storage facility, a self-storage facility being proposed kind of at the southwest corner of 101 Bass Lake Road, kind of behind the Holiday Station down there. Kind of a hidden parcel back there. You might not even know that there was a piece to be developed back there. The Hindu temple is looking to do some solar installation up there, and some of it is near a floodplain area, and so we need to provide some authority to be able to do that. Rush Creek Apartments, this is the southwest corner of 101 Bass Lake Road. Previously approved project there. They've come back, they've reduced the unit count there, so this one will be coming through Planning Commission and Council again. Christian Brothers Automotive, this is up at 610 and Zachary, so kind of a small user for automotive service. And then Park 81 North, this is the Duke project just south of County Road 81. They previously had approval for 3 kind of industrial buildings. They're coming back for an amendment to one of those buildings to kind of change the shape and function of it a little bit. So that'll come through the process as well.
All right, so a lot going on in that department. Again, a lot going on in Public Works. We covered that a little earlier, what Ken Asheville talked about at the meeting with I-94. You had a few updates about the legislature. The action is happening now, and you have events going on a regular basis. In fact, as we're taping this, you had one this morning. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Housing for All hosted their legislative breakfast this morning down at St. Joseph the Worker. Always a great event, good turnout, full room, and good turnout by the legislators as well. So had an opportunity, Joe and I had an opportunity to attend that event together. And then Municipal Legislative Commission, their legislative breakfast is Friday morning in Plymouth, and that's really kind of an association that represents larger suburbs in the metro area, so we'll be attending that one. And then, just our continued work at the legislature. We're working with Lockridge, Grindle now in this year for our lobbyist services, and really our focus is on that 610 completion funding and the North Metro Range completion funding.
Very good.
Getting busy with the legislative session.
When we started here, we talked about the little work session before this meeting about the shops. There are some that are coming up, so if you have your eye on these other topics, here's when they might be coming up. Workshops on the comp plan and also the master plan. So that would be within the next month or so, I take it?
Yeah, February 4th, we're looking to, we need to get back to the council with some of the comments that came back through the comp plan review, not only from Met Council, but also from some of our property owners' neighboring communities. And so we kind of want to get that all wrapped up and submitted on to Met Council to finish that process. And we're advancing the master planning work that we're doing up in the 105th Avenue corridor. So we want to bring that forward to the council, have some discussion about kind of what the development concepts are up there. March 4th, we're going to be bringing back at the December 17th meeting our zoning text amendments regarding shoreland tree preservation areas were tabled to a work session, so we're looking to bring that back on March 4th. So kind of a couple dates coming up for that.
Big look ahead and also look back at the meeting. So that's the wrap on the meeting from the 22nd and all that happened there. There are a few other things happening around town, so let's talk about those. One was the numbers are in on transit for 2018, and they're looking good.
Yeah, so we had, this was the second highest ridership level, provided almost 840,000 rides throughout the year. So it's been a great year for Maple Grove Transit. Of course, we had the Transit System of the Year award awarded to Maple Grove Transit this year, and I think partly, with our My Ride services and the changes that we've made there and the rebranding of the buses and some of the new scheduling services and whatnot, it's really kind of brought a new, fresh look to our transit and maybe hopefully some new riders as well. One other piece related to transit is we've established a relationship with Steve's Auto World for a concierge service at the Maple Grove Transit Station, both down here at Arbor Lakes as well as up at the Parkway Station.
Right.
And so with this program, folks can drop their keys and Steve's Auto World will come get your vehicle and do the service as you've requested and return it to you so it's there at the end of the day.
Very
so
nice.
Kind of a nice service for our transit riders to take care of an errand during the day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We often mention commission openings and opportunities for residents to step forward and serve and be involved, and you have one now on a really neat commission.
Yeah, the Arbor Committee is looking for some folks to join them. They're appointed for a 3-year term and they meet on a monthly basis. And so this group is involved with preserving and protecting Maple Grove's urban forest as well as public education and awareness programs.
Okay.
Yep.
Few winter notes as the season is upon us. It's getting a little colder out there, and one is with the photo contest.
Yep.
Take pictures of winter, and this might be an event to take pictures of winter on, Wonders of Winter as well. So tell us about those two. You encourage people to snap those photos now. Can they turn them in now, or do they have to wait until later in the year? My guess would be it's probably later when that's posted.
Yeah, I think it is later in the year. I always think we have winter and summer, but it's because we do try to promote it in the winter to get people to, take pictures of their winter experiences in Maple Grove. But yeah, the photo contest doesn't open until June 1, but take those snapshots now, and we'd love to see them. Save them up.
And you might want to go out on February 9th to take some pictures. What's happening?
Yeah, so last year, in honor of the Super Bowl being in town, we hosted the first Wonders of Winter event at Central Park in Maple Grove. And so Saturday, February 9th from 11 to 3, we'll be doing this event again. I think the goal is to try to make it an annual event. Of course, the ice loop will be open. There'll be ice sculptures. The Maple Grove Skating School will be doing some performances. Fat Tire Bike Demo is out there. Three Rivers comes out with some kick sledding, snowshoeing, Nordic walking. Maple Grove Lions Club is sponsoring the wagon rides, and then there's all kinds of s'mores and hot cocoa and things going on throughout the day as well. So great family-friendly, free event. So we encourage people to come on out and enjoy the winter.
Neat opportunity. Maybe an inch or two more of snow.
Would be nice.
That's all, right?
Yes,
just a couple more
we need
inches,
a little bit
we'll
more.
take it. Fire safety class, we've mentioned this a few times, and still an opportunity for people to get involved. What will this offer?
Yeah, so this is a class that's hosted by Maple Grove Fire Prevention. It's a 1-hour session, focuses on smoke alarms, residential fire escape plans, and then just general discussion of fire safety. So class is held from 6 to 7 p.m. at Maple Grove Fire Station 4. We have 4 dates coming up, 2 in February, 2 in March, but why don't you give a call up to the fire department at the Government Center and they can kind of get you connected to that information. Information also available on our website.
All right, let's talk social media, and if there weren't enough ways to connect and find great things on social media, Maple Grove has done it. Tell us about Instagram and a familiar face from Maple Grove.
Yeah, so Kalo, our new K-9 officer, has his own Instagram now.
Of course.
And so it's been fun. I've been able to go go look, and Officer Stewart posts some really fun things of Kalo in action there. They have the little video snippets that you can post there, so that's been kind of a fun way to connect with Kalo and watch as he's out protecting our community.
All right, take a look for those. Polar Plunge, a fun event, an annual event that happens in Maple Grove coming up on February 2nd.
Yep.
Who's involved in this and who does it help out?
Yeah, so the police department has a big role in participating in this, and this supports Minnesota Special Olympics. Saturday, February 2 out at Fish Lake. We have, I think, 11 folks from our police department signed up, including Councilmember Judy Hansen is going to be jumping again with the police department.
The video.
Yeah, we always get video of that one. I know. I can't believe she's going to do it again. And you can always go and be a spectator at that event. And I just also want to thank the Lookout is very supportive of this event. They host kind of the registration event the night before and provide a lot of support to the event. Kind of a good community partner on this one. Yep.
Final couple items. Let's move a little bit outside of Maple Grove, but some impacts to the city. First is Hennepin County, some restrictions or restructuring with the courts. What does that mean for Maple Grove, and where should people go? Yeah,
so this is a restructuring of Minnesota's 4th Judicial District, so in Hennepin County. And mainly what's driving it is the permanent closure of the Southdale Courthouse. And this transition is starting as of February 1. So effective February 4, Maple Grove cases will move from Ridgedale to the Brookdale Court location. So if you're a Maple Grove resident or you receive a ticket here in Maple Grove or something and you need to present yourself at court, you're going to need to go to that Brookdale location instead of Ridgedale.
Very good.
Yep.
Final note is an event that's coming up actually in Champlin, right near Maple Grove.
Yep.
And this is an event that they're calling everyone to be hands on deck for a neat cause. Tell us about Feed My Starving Children.
Yeah, so this is the annual Northwest Metro Mega Pack event that's up at Egan Company in Champlin, right off of 169 there. February 20th to the 24th, they have a big section of their warehouse of their business that I don't know if they must clear it out especially for this event. I know there's a lot of local, community faith organizations, Rotary Club gets involved with this, getting up there to participate in this food pack. So this is a big event for the North Metro and supporting Feed My Starving Children. Yep,
information on their website, and my guess would be maybe a link or two through the city's website or Facebook as well to find that information. Heidi, thank you very much for your time again and all the information. Let's leave you with the next date. That is coming up February 4th, next time the council gets together. You see the website in the middle of the screen. You can find out some of the information we talked about during the program, phone number at the bottom, and 533-1710 viewer response line with questions or comments about the program. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks again for joining us.